So, welcome back everybody to another video of Elite Dangerous. It's been a little while since my last upload, and I've continued my career of becoming one of the Federation's most wanted. Currently I'm residing at place 4 with a bounty of roughly 5 million, and I just wanted to share with you a little day in the exciting, or a little bit less exciting, life of a Federation's most wanted. So, as I said in my last video, the best way of actually gaining notoriety, so to say, is by just gathering a bunch of expensive cargo, like these limited wares, and basically letting yourself be scanned by enemy or Federation, federal system ships, and letting them basically place a bounty on your head. Well, for one thing, the last week basically it suddenly stopped working, so I'm not quite sure if it's a bug or if it's something that they want to fix with the next version of the Elite Dangerous. But currently I can be scanned by federal ships, and I won't get fined any longer. So this basically stopped the, well, let's call it arms race for getting the most bounties, and there are basically people there with I think 20 million credits of bounty on them. So but accumulating the most bounty isn't really, or wasn't really, the goal I had with pursuing this kind of work. What I really wanted to see if was if I could actually convince players to hunt me down, because the buying cost of my Cobra here is about 200,000 credits. I have 1 million credits, so it's, for me, it's really not a big personal expense if I'm getting destroyed. But what I really would like, if I get hunted down by anyone, or get basically killed in a fair fight, or in at least in a fight by a player, not to, that I get blown up by some AI ship and the 5 million credits go to waste. But up to this point I had a few friend requests basically in Elite Dangerous, but nothing that's really show me that people are actually going out of their way and try to find these players, even though on the player bounty boards you have their destination targets, or the last known targets for, and the last known systems of them. So currently I'm just flying around and just looting myself to a little bit more money still, but I have to say that it's a little bit less interesting. However, in the last few days I have actually encountered some interesting fights, which you'll see a little bit later on. Right now I'm engaging 2 asps here, which is something that you seem to go, or it seems to you come across more often when you level up in your combat rating. As you can see here, this is one asp. I'm actually scanning his cargos for his cargo bay first, because most of the time it's strange. You will encounter several enemy ships, AI ships, and actually ships like the Sidewinder have the most expensive cargos. They have stuff like wares like the special brandies or other drugs or even battle weapons that will actually fetch quite a sum on the black market. And these pirates here are basically all just carrying around coffee, tea, or even grain or fish, which is worth next to nothing compared to these other wares that these smaller ships, which most often try to flee from you, carry. So I've started to focus heavily on destroying enemy power plants when I'm fighting other AIs and even other players as well. But as you can see, I'm doing a little bit here of how you call it, piracy or freelancering on ships that are not actually part of the ruling faction in my star system, because I'm still quite favorably looked on to by the ruling parties of my star system. So I'm trying to help them out with shooting down their enemies, which seems to work quite nicely to maintain my good standing with them. And as you can see here now, this is the second ass. You can see basically the federal security system, the federal security ships are buzzing around. Sometimes they even fire on me, but it seems to be rather few attacks by them compared to these AIs. And we secured a little nice bounty of 20,000 credits here. There's a Viper. The biggest problem I currently have is with these ships like the Viper, that they actually outrun me, and after a given time when you can't close in on them and shoot them down, they actually jump away. So I might as well need to get a wake scanner on my ship so that I can actually follow them. However, until I do that, just going to show you here a little bit more of the combat. And I have to say, the ship combat in Elite Dangerous still is, even though I've played quite a bit of it, it's still very awesome. And I do seem to see always something new here, and always encounter new scenes and can discover new details on other players or other ships that I never really realized before that they were there, and that's always nice. So, besides drinking moonshine and shooting up other ships, what does one do as a pirate? Well, when you're not hunting AIs, you can basically scour around the system that you're actually in for enemy players, or enemy players not, but other players, which you'll make enemies by ripping them out of their hyperspace and then actually looting their cargo holds if they're so inclined to. But it seems that there are very few players actually that take kindly to this kind of piracy, and most of them just simply refuse to hand over their cargo. Probably in parts because when you hand over your cargo and you're just attacked by the other player or by the pirate, then he actually just gains about 170 credits of bounty. While if you destroy an enemy, the destroying player actually receives the bounty of 6,000 credits. However, these players somehow didn't realize what kind of bounty I already had on my head, so I don't know if it's wise to keep your cargo to yourself, not give it up, hoping to increase the bounty of somebody who has already 5 million credits on his head, rather than just give up your cargo and probably get away with your life. Because most of these cargoes that these players are trading in, or that they're carrying, are basically less than what their rebuying cost for a new Cobra would basically, even in the standard configuration, would cost them. So, while I certainly can understand their feelings and their emotions towards not giving up their cargo, I'm not so sure if this actually would benefit them as much as giving up their cargo would give. And as you can see here, the classic War Thunder Death Ram. And we go straight into the next one. So we go on to proceed to scan his cargoes. Oh, some marine equipment. Signal him to hand over his cargo. But he doesn't seem to like that proposition.
Frameshift charge detected.
And wants to fly away. Well, we'll see what we can do about that. So we slot in on his tail. You can see he's spooling up his frameshift drive. I'm actually targeting his drives here. And the problem is, the closer that you are to him, and the closer that he stays to you, is actually the more time he takes to spool up his frameshift drive and actually get away. So by closing or by opening the distance as I did now, he actually has the biggest chance of getting actually away from me. But as you can see here, he is very slowly losing his health, but he actually managed to get away. So we're going into hot pursuit. And this is another thing. If you don't jump out of the out of the system right away, then you can't actually escape your capture, because your captor, because he actually can jump jump in behind you and actually pull you out of the FTL. In this instance, I basically thought I would text the other player and jump into the Patterson station here. And this is one of the things I just showed you or explained to you. Up to this point, this only brought on 160 credit bounty on my head because I just fired upon him.
Docking request denied.
Well, you perfectly well saw that he was basically at 10% hull capacity. The difference between shooting one shot at him and shooting counter shots at him, almost destroying him, is, and for that matter, letting him relieving him of his cargo is basically the same. So, fortunately, this commander actually made it into the safety of the station. However, still, he must have lost quite a bit of credits by encountering me. And I'm currently thinking about waiting for him to undock and then pursuing him again. But I spot this asp here in a second. And you can already see the player icon down at the sensors, and there he is. He's preparing for a frameshift drive. For a frameshift jump, and this is basically the difference between what the other commander did and what this commander does. He now exited the system, so when I'm jumping out behind him here, there's no one here, so he actually managed to evade me. So, for my last clip for today, we're going to see a little dogfight that I had with Commander Lassen, in which I probably screwed up at least once when I came too close to him, but I feel like there was a bit of lag involved, so you will see. This actually looked for a short period of time like he actually had the upper hand, but I managed to turn the tables after that again. So, standard procedure as always. Demand to him surrendering his cargo to me. And he actually opened fire on me, even though he didn't hit me. As you can see here, this is basically where I lose all my shields and half of my hull integrity. Because somehow I got stuck behind him. So as you can see here, even though his missile hit me, I couldn't actually see the damage until sometime later. So I'm inclined to think that there was quite a bit of lag involved here. But while my shields are recharging now, his shields just went down, and I'm in a very good position here, actually ramming him again, and this finishes him off, so he's dead. So that's it for today. I'm going to log in now again for a little bit of Elite and see if anyone wants to hunt me down and claim my bounty. So, thanks for watching and hope to see you on the next one. Bye!